It's getting harder and harder to really love WWE 2K22, if I can say that. With the recent events of the modding community and PW Mods specifically not allowed to mod anymore in 2K22, I thought we could take an opportunity here today, go a little bit deeper into this and talk about this disappointing news. But there could be some positivity and some hope at the end of all of this. Either way, let's have some fun today. Let's talk some wrestling. Let's go. With the recent patch of 1.09, WWE 2K22 has made it impossible for modders to be able to modify, change, add in arenas, themes, Titantrons, superstars to WWE 2K22. And if you're unfamiliar or you don't really get into the PC modding space at all, it's a massive, massive community. And modders out there are awesome. They do incredible work when it comes to the arenas, the Titantrons, like I said, superstars, adding in different attires, theme music, all of this to make the experience even better and just really, really awesome. There is a debate of should modding be allowed in video games? Is it ethically okay to do this? But this has been going on for a very, very long time. It's still going on when you see games like WWF No Mercy getting updated mods, including like AEW stars and so on. But 2K has never come down on the modding community. In fact, they've been supportive. Patrick Gilmore, a developer over at 2K, had a tweet that came out at the beginning of April, and it reads this: "Can't wait to see what you do on 22. The WWE 2K Arenas artists are fans of your work." This is coming in response of Matt Fick, who posted a tweet regarding modding and updating and adding WrestleMania 38 will likely be my last arena for 19. Also will likely be my first one for 22. And there has been dialogue and back and forth over time of the modding community and 2K for the WWE side, basically in support. But with the recent patch, it has shut all of this down and it can't be undone. Nothing new can be added to the game for the modders. When the patch was released, we talked about this previously on the other show we did last week, but touching on this a little bit further, PW Mods' original statement reads like this in response to the patch coming out and locking up the game. "We're saddened to see, like previous patch, WWE games have decided to prevent modding again. While we appreciate developers reaching out and detailing your support of our community and modding as a whole, this leaves us to question where we truly stand." Pro Wrestling Mods have followed up by saying the following: "We'd like to clarify claims at WWE Games has reached out with the current state of modding post patch for #WWE 2K22. There has been no attempt of communication or dialogue with Pro Wrestling Mods. We are sorry to relay this general consensus has been accepted that no change will be reverted." So they are confirming that there will be nothing to undo this patch. A few days ago, we were being hopeful that we would see potentially 2K to revert this in a later patch and an update to allow the modding community to work. But since then, it does seem like it's going to be completely shut down and they are not going to change their mind on this. Personally, where I stand with this is I think it's a bad move by 2K. I think it's an old practice. I think you're blocking community. I think you're pushing your fans away, a huge sector of your fans. And on the PC side, that is a huge, huge audience. And they are people that play your game and buy your game. And I don't know if 2K would have this argument or think this way, but if they're looking at it from a financial standpoint and think that we're somehow losing money off of the game, people are not going to buy the game because they simply mod it, I don't feel that that's true. You still have your console players. You still have PC players that buy the game to then go in and download mods, download new superstars, do the creation piece. They want to buy your game. And the thing is, for 2K, you have wrestling fans that are, they're fans. They want to have a good game. And I think that by splitting your audience, pushing modders away, the PC community away, rather than embracing and seeing how you can maybe work together or just let them be. Maybe champion those that create really awesome stuff instead of handcuffing them. The fans are passionate. Guys like me, we want a fun game that works. We want the updates, the patches to come. We want the game when we buy it to work flawlessly or at least close to. We don't want fans, I don't want other players to feel like they have to go back and play 2K19. They shouldn't have to. They pay their hard-earned money, whether it is PC or console, to get the next experience, to play a wrestling game, to play a WWE game, and not have to deal with the bugs and crashes and so on. So when you have a modding community, they are the ones that often lift up the community. We get to look at the great stuff that they create, and you should champion that. And also, you're not looking at modders and folks that are going in and trying to break the game, trying to do some really salacious stuff, anything weird and creepy or anything. They're creating arenas, they're creating attires, they're creating the entrances, they're updating the content. They're doing what we wish 2K would do with their game and the license with WWE. So I find it odd, and I don't really agree with blocking and essentially shutting down the modding community, because it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and I think that it doesn't support the community as a whole, and you push away a large sector of fans. Now, we could be the small minority. There is that, because there are so many casual fans out there that we have to recognize the fact that so many people out there, they get a console, they get an Xbox or a PlayStation, they see the latest wrestling game, and they want to go in and play as Triple H and Stone Cold and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and they're casual about it, and they play some exhibition matches and then they bounce. But I do feel that for the modding community, as well as folks as myself and like you and a lot of you, we want the game to thrive, and we want these communities to thrive because there's good people at work. So I do find that blocking the game, it's not a great move, but there is hope. We always try to spin it positive here on the show. Positive news, the optimistic side here, ladies and gentlemen, there could be hope. And it could come in the form of Virtual Basement and AEW. So Pro Wrestling Mods has been busy the last few days, reaching out to Virtual Basement, reaching out to AEW Games, Kenny Omega and the like, to try and see if there is any support for the modding community, because they have to be able to shift gears now and try to build and focus their attention elsewhere. So there's a tweet going back and forth in the thread of Pro Wrestling Mods and Virtual Basement. Pro Wrestling Mods tweeted out to them to say, imagine a new age wrestling game with endless first party content as well as mod support in some capacity. A full year of arenas, championships, wrestlers, weapon packs, custom themes, trons, etc. that every console could use. I'm sure someone wants the sales it would bring. So Virtual Basement replied to this by saying the following. All I'm gonna say is yes. UE, SDK, and mod.io. And mod.io has cross-platform mod support for games, for PC, console, mobile, etc. And then Pro Wrestling Mods did the winky face in response to that. So that's good news. Pro Wrestling Mods then reached out to Tony Khan, AEW Games, Ukes, and said, come and check us out. Let's change the game together. And as of recording it this morning, PW Mods posted an Adam Cole Bebe gif with the eyes looking over to the side. So, the good news out of all of this is that we could very likely see Pro Wrestling Mods and the modding community being able to work with Virtual Basement with their game coming out, and potentially the upcoming AEW console game. The AEW game is slated to come out for consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, not confirmed for PC yet. AEW Games has an event coming up on May the 4th, and we'll have the coverage here as well. But this can be amazing news and great support for the modding community if they can shift gears and head over with Virtual Basement and AEW, focus their attention there, and work off of that platform. All of this gives me a lot of hope. It's disappointing news, like I said, that 2K is not going to play ball and not support the modding community and not support the potential sales that they get out of it, and the real sales that they get out of their video game from the modders and from the community at large. The good news is we could see things shift over to AEW, so I'm excited. You let me know in the comments, what do you think about all of this? And if you guys enjoy this episode, check out this one right here, talking about the breaking news of the modding community and what's been going on. Thanks for watching, hit that like button, and I will see you on the next episode.